I just had the most amazing adventure and I want to tell you about it. So a few weeks ago, my friend, he comes up to me and he says, Tara, you must simply come to Turks and Caicos with us because it's not going to be any fun unless you're there. And so I thought about it and I decided, you know, he's right. It's not going to be as much fun if I'm not there. And so I did. I went to Turks and Caicos with my friends. Well, the first day we decided to go snorkeling. Quite an adventure, really. We saw all different types of marine animals, and in fact I even saw 3 squid, and I'd never seen squid in the ocean before, so I was quite excited about that. Well, the captain of the ship, he ended up getting some conch that he had found out in the ocean, and so he cut it up into a main little piece, and when we ended up eating it, we ate conch. Can you believe that? The captain, he informed us that the conch actually has aphrodisiac properties. Well, and I don't know about that, but I did have an epiphany while I was out on this trip, and that is that I should start dating, so maybe it had quite an effect on me, I'm not sure. Well, the next day we decided to go kayaking, I and 2 of my friends. However, I ended up getting lost, and so I decided to have my own adventure that day. And to start off with, I just started walking along the beach. And I walked and I walked and I ended up on a reef. And because I had all my snorkeling gear still with me, I decided to go snorkeling again. I saw some amazing animals even that day, and I saw turtles and I saw barracudas. In fact, the barracuda that I saw that day was 6 feet long, and I didn't even know they got that big. Can you believe that? I think I'd have eaten me. Anyway, I quickly moved along from that sport. What I saw next was lionfish, and in Turks and Caicos they actually show these posters everywhere of the lionfish because apparently you're supposed to kill them if you see them because they hurt the environment. Well, I didn't have a bloody baseball bat with me, so I wasn't going to kill this sucker, but I did move along. Later that day I got reunited with my friends, and they had this brilliant idea. We were going to go skinny dipping in the ocean. Doesn't that sound exciting? And so we did just that. Daddy, if you're watching this, let me explain what skinny dipping is. It is where you suck in your gut as much as possible, turn to the side, and simply dip into the water. You know, skinny dipping. Alright, so anyway. We had just finished skinny dipping and we're out on the beach again, and here we hear this music, and it was fantastic music. Dun, 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 dun. And so I simply had to find out what it was and what was going on. And so we went over to where the music was, and we found out it was a production the hotel was putting on. I believe they were doing some type of a Glee theme or something like that. So anyway, we just watched it, and while we were watching it, of course we had to dance. Anyway, after the production was over, everyone started dancing, so it was quite a party really. And a few of the cast members, they even came up to us and they introduced themselves. One of them actually grabbed a wrist and he said, you do not have a wristband, you shouldn't be here, so just make sure you don't get caught. And so we just covered up our wrists and continued to dance the night away, and it was quite a bloody brilliant night. I loved it. Now the next day I and one other friend, we decided to go scuba diving, and that's what we did. We went scuba diving and it was fantastic. We saw sharks and lobster. Oh, and, well, I'll communicate this the same way I did to my friend. That's the signal for pufferfish. The poor dear, she probably thought I was running out of air, but really I was just dramatically excited about the pufferfish. It was huge. So after diving, we go back up to the surface, and the first thing I noticed is the water had changed colours. It was grey now. It was turquoise when we went in there. What was happening was there was a storm that was rolling in, and it was quite a big one. So we started to head back to shore. And we ended up getting caught in it. It was just pouring on us. We were getting soaking wet, and I didn't really mind, except for the fact it was a little chilly. But the exciting thing that happened next was there were whales that started popping up everywhere, and I started to scream, look, there's a whale! And then, a few seconds later, there was a whale on the other side. Look, it's a whale! And then there was whales in the front of us, and then behind us, and they were all over, and they were surrounding us. And the poor captain, he was a little nervous because he said these whales are about 40 feet long, and if they come up right underneath us, they can actually capsize the boat, which is a little frightening, but it was super exciting, and I loved every minute of it. Anyway, the next day, that was the sad day because I had to go home that day. So I called up a cabbie to make sure that I was at the airport good and ready. I know how those international flights are. Well, the cabbie, he asked me, he's like, my dear, when is your flight leaving? And I told him I leave at 1:45. That's the time that my plane actually will take off. And he said, my dear, you'll be sitting at the airport for quite a dreadful time just doing nothing. Our airport system actually works very quickly, and so you don't need to be there quite as early as you think. And he had this brilliant idea. He's like, why don't I take you on an island tour? And I thought that was bloody brilliant, so I of course said, yes, let's do that. That sounds exciting. And so we went all over the island, and he even took me on a small hike to see these historical markers that the pioneers of Turks and Caicos had actually chipped their names and dates into the carvings. 1700s, can you believe that? So long ago. So that is my story of my amazing adventure over to the Turks and Caicos Island. It was absolutely fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. So the moral of the story is, if you have an opportunity for travel, make sure you do it, because you will have these amazing memories that you will walk away with, and fantastic stories that you can tell to either your children or your grandchildren or even your dog. Who knows? Who you want to tell it to, really. Anyway, you have a fabulous night. I'll talk to you later.